Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We are rocking and rolling. It is a Friday edition here on Inside Edge Primetime. My goodness, I am so excited. I almost fell out of my seat. Chad, Bryan, who is...
I just almost fell right.
Are you Papa Moon? Are you Papa Moon? Are you Papa Moon right now, dude?
That's yes. I am Papa Moon.
Hold on. I think I don't have the technical difficulty screen anymore. I would have completely just...
Yeah, we have too many assets.
I would have completely changed it on you. Oh, my goodness. We are off and rolling. It is a Friday edition. I think Chad's going to get that fixed. If you just want an idea of sometimes what goes behind the scenes, we are doing a lot of work here as Cleveland's digital leader and your source. There he is. Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all the great stuff at Inside Edge Net. If you're enjoying the content all week long, the daily and the weekly shows, Inside Edge Net's where you're going to want to be and stay locked in with everything Chad and I are doing. And, of course, everybody else got Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays. A lot of great breakdown of news stories. He just had Jake Underwood from the Jake Underwood Show on 14:20 a.m. on today, typically on Thursdays, but him and Jake rescheduled, and they talked today. A great conversation. He had Omar on yesterday, talking about the new morning show, which debuts June 1st here on the Inside Edge Network. Very exciting. So I have that joining the fold for the daily lineup. Of course, you have Prime Time with Chad and I, 10 to 11 here weeknights, and Double A Anthony Alford, typically midnight to 1 on weeknights, but Double A Anthony Alford will be not doing tonight. He'll be back Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday, and we'll have Omar Klossel filling in for Double A. Very excited for that. We send Double A well wishes on his much deserved time off for a weekend, and he works so hard as our program director and just being on air, behind the scenes, everything he does. So we appreciate you, Double A. Enjoy some deep dish pizza and enjoy yourself. We appreciate you so much. But yes, he will be taking a moment off tonight. Back with you next week. Omar Klossel filling in. So don't fear. Double A's back with you next week. All right. Make sure you check out the website as well. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go. Of course, you have all the personalities you can read about that I've been mentioning. Some of these shows, Chad and I and everybody else. Read about all your favorite personalities of the Inside Edge Network. Go to the partners page where Chad has it right above him. He's taking a sip, but he'll point here in just a second. He'll send you right to the QR code, which has InsideEdgeNetwork.com. The partners page, it'll guide you right there to start off. W Energy, Monster Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. We appreciate our partners. We couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't do it without you at home, so thank you. And as a thank you, to the end of May at the shop, we have the promo code INSIDER. Again, that's INSIDER for 20% off your order. Right there's a promo code. Boom, 20% off your order. Get a mug, get a hat, get a polo, get a shirt, all the great stuff. We have windbreakers, a lot of great stuff here at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. So we appreciate you for tuning in here. Chad and I with you to the next hour or so. Got a very exciting lineup here for the show. We're going to talk Guardians later on in the show. They are on fire, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see, Chad. We'll talk. I'll sit down and talk. Earlier today, I sat down with Spencer Davies, Cleveland Cavaliers beat reporter. So we'll air our interview from earlier today if you missed it. A great conversation about how the series has got to this point, what to look for moving forward. And then before all that, we'll dive into the Cavs ourselves. Before we get into that, Chad, how are you doing on this Friday, my bro?
I'm good. I don't know who I am. I almost tipped my chair over at the same exact time that you did, and apparently I don't know what happened there. So we're like you said, we're off and running. A great start to the show so far.
Yes.
0 for 2. You said something that reminded me of something. Oh yeah, you said deep dish pizza, and then you threw me off track. I had thoughts, and I had Cavs thoughts and Guardians, and then you said pizza, and I was like, no, I'm hungry. I just ate dinner too. Long answer, short answer is I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been a beautiful week. Excuse me. The weather's been great.
Yeah.
70s, 80s. Yeah. Little colder, but at the beginning on Sunday and Monday it was like 70s or 80s, and yeah, we dipped a little bit, but we'll be back. We'll be back in the saddle, or in the saddle, on the saddle. I don't know anymore, but one of those things we'll be saddling.
Well, we'll know more. And I don't know if he knows anything about saddles or horse riding, but we'll have Matt Wentz on the show next Friday, so we'll know more about our next couple of weeks of weather, maybe what the outlook's going to be. So
yeah, very excited.
Horseback riding. I'm not sure what he knows about that.
Yeah, is it in the saddle, on the saddle? I don't know.
Remember, they're both correct. They're both correct.
Yeah, but I feel like there's, it's got to be one or the other. I feel like we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that.
Back in the saddle. So
and we said in the saddle. So I mean,
I'm riding with Tyler on this one. Not a lot of things he does, but on this one, I'm gonna side with him because it's what I said first. So
that's fair. I like it. I like that logic, and I love it. All right, let's get into it here. Let's dive our hands into this Cavaliers mess. They are 0-2 against the New York Knicks, coming up empty at Madison Square Garden. They lost to the Knicks last night in Game 2, 109-93. And a big game by Josh Hart, a playoff career high for Josh Hart, 26 points. And a game where the Cavaliers just could not get shots to fall. And I talked to Spencer a little bit. You'll hear it in the interview, Chad, about how it's a make-or-miss league. And, when you shoot pretty poorly and the bench isn't hitting their shots and, you're not going to win a basketball game, regardless of how great, in the percentile of the shot it was, and the analytics and all of that. We heard what Josh Hart, had to say about analytics yesterday, and he did not really care for them. So, I don't know what to make of this. I dove into it a little bit with Spencer and just tried to find out some answers. Chad, what are some of your takeaways now a day after we get the reset? We get it to go to Game 3. I'll have post game here on the Inside Edge Network with TK Dandridge, our buddy, our bro. It'd be a lot of fun. But what are your thoughts right now, the day before, the calm before the storm at Rocket Arena?
Well, I mean, you hope that they can recover, right? I mean, at this point, a little bit physically because, and I think you and Spencer kind of alluded to it in the interview and the conversation that you guys had earlier. They've just played more basketball than the Knicks, right? A lot more. And that makes a difference. We talked about before the series started, rest versus rust. I think, we're finding out that right now rest was the key, right? Like that 7, 8, 9, 10, I think it was 10 days, wasn't it? Was it 9 or 10? It was close to 10. We'll call it 10. We'll round up.
Yeah.
We'll round up. I like 10. But 10 days of rest, and I think that is playing a big part right now. But some of the other things, like, we talked about this as well already. Evan Mobley not taking a shot in the second half is unacceptable. And then I think even stranger than that, after the game, it was like Kenny Atkinson hadn't realized that yet. And I understand if you're a youth coach and you're helping out or whatever, like assistant JV coach or something, you might not notice that a kid didn't take a shot the entire half that normally, has the ball. But I just feel like as an NBA coach, you should notice Evan Mobley not really having the basketball in the second half of a basketball game. That feels important. And, I'm not here to throw shade or, I'm not a fired Kenny Atkinson guy or whatever, but it just feels like, I'm not going to say the moment's too big for him or anything like that. It just feels like he's just a little maybe overwhelmed right now. You saw him kind of react, I think, to all the timeout talk. in game 2, right? Every time the Knicks started to go on a little bit of a run, boom, timeout, boom, timeout. He wasn't saving the timeouts in game 2, right? He heard about that already. I think he had enough of hearing about that. And I think you could see the overcorrect a little bit, in game 2. Not that he used too many. I'm not saying that's just you could see him pivot the other way hard, I don't know. I mean, right now they've got to. Again, I think it's about just kind of finding their identity and sticking with what works until it doesn't work anymore, and then trying to identify something else that works, which is, please, not ISO ball. And again, I don't know. It's just frustrating because they have the talent to do this. It really should be 1-1. I mean, last night, listen, when shots aren't going down, I can excuse that. It's prime. You're going to have that in the NBA. You're going to miss shots, right, at times. But it's the effort. I mean, the 22-point lead blown in game 1 is it's unacceptable, and it feels like they really should be. Not they could be, they should be 1-1 with the Knicks right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I think a lot of people are being very critical of game 2, and we should be a little bit, because they didn't hit the shots and they're coming back 0-2 as a result of it. But that game 1 just left such a sour taste in Clevelanders' mouth. It's been real rough to really just think of what if, right? You see the stats, of how many teams have advanced after being up 2-0 in playoff series. I mean, it's a pretty strong chance that the New York Knicks, the luck's on their side, the statistics are on the side, all of that. But the Cavaliers have been in this position before. Dan Gilbert's mentioned it, the Cleveland Cavaliers governor. He mentioned that, hey, this is going to be, another uphill battle, but if anybody's ready for it, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been down 0-2 in a series before. They've had to play 2 Game 7s. So why wouldn't they be in position to win this series still against the New York Knicks? And, we talked I talked in the interview with Spencer about, hey, how does this Cavs team, how do we get back to, where we're feeling good again, right? And he mentioned, you got to win, you got to take care of business at home, right? If you go 2-2, it's back to a 3-game series. And yes, you don't want to go another Game 7, but at this point, we're trying to get to the NBA Finals. So I guess however you got to get it, get it how you live, right? So
I mean, another Game 7 is better than being swept or out 5.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and I'm very curious to see how the Cavaliers play tomorrow night. Again, TK and I will have the post game. We'll break down all of it and have a discussion. I know TK, if they lose another game, TK is going to be upset. And it's not going to be fun. So it'll be good to see him, but hopefully we're both smiling, having a Game 3 celebration. We'll be here with you as soon as the buzzer sounds, the final horn is sounding, and the zeros are on the clock. We'll be live with you. We'll actually be live about a minute and a half before the game ends. We're trying to get on the stream a little bit earlier, so get with you guys early, just kind of let you know, hey, we're here with you, and stick with us. We're going to have reaction as soon as the zeros hit the finals, whatever, the scoreboard and all that fun jazz. Right. All right, I'm jazzed up. I must have had some W energy before the show, and make sure you do as well. You can use the code InsideEdge10 for 10% off your order at W Energy, one of our great sponsors. And you'll hear from a few of our partners as well through the break. We're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, you'll hear the interview that aired earlier today, myself, with Cleveland Cavaliers beat reporter Spencer Davies from Clutch Points and Basketball News and all over the place. He is absolutely leaving his stamp on the basketball world, and it is so cool to see. I talked about it in the interview, but there's a guy, Chad, when I first was in sports broadcasting, when I was a wee lad, when I was 19, 20 years old, I was going to these media dinners and all that, covering the Cavaliers. And Spencer Davies was that guy who would just come sit with you. You got all the beat reporters. And as a 19-year-old, you're like, oh, I've seen that guy on TV. Oh, okay. I'm 28 now, so I can understand that these are human beings. We're all doing a job here, right? We're all working towards what we're trying to do. But it was just so cool. Spencer sat down and would have conversation with me. And I learned a lot about not only how to write certain articles, but also just how to ask them certain questions. And I used some of those learning skills in my interview with Spencer Davies. You'll hear that right next after the pause. For the cause, you're going to hear from a few of our sponsors, and we're back. This is Inside Edge Primetime. That's Chad Bryan to my right. You're right. He is not Papa Moon. I checked it. He is not Papa Moon. That is Chad Bryan. To my right, you're right.
I checked
I'm Eli.
Sorry.
I'm Eli Moon. We'll be back right after this.
And we thank you for your support of the Inside Edge Network. And don't miss my show, Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You won't miss a single episode when you like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net.
Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And welcome in to the Inside Edge Network, everybody. I'm Eli Moon, and I am blessed to have somebody I consider a friend here in the industry. I've sat down at media dinner with him quite a few times. We've had some great discussions. Can't wait to have a discussion here on the Inside Edge Network today about those Cleveland Cavaliers. You see him all over Clutch Points, Basketball News. He just did a post-game report yesterday out on YouTube, and you can catch all his post-games. He's doing a great job all over the place. I don't know how to keep up with him except for just look for Spencer Davies. He'll be somewhere on my screen. Of course, Spencer Davies here with us. Spencer, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'll tell you, like I was really telling you before we started this, it's been a whirlwind. Every other day they're playing since April 29th. It's been quite a bear to take on schedule-wise for me. So I can't imagine what it's like for the players. But, yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. But, this is part of why we get into what we get into. It's fun at the same time. You just got to try to find some pockets of time during the day to kind of take a deep breath, I guess, but it's good. It's good to be talking to you again, man. Last time I saw you, I think you were, man, either in your early 20s or in your late teens, and you had none of that going on. You had none of the beard. You didn't have the long hair. Yeah. You were baby-faced Eli, man. So it's cool to see you in this environment now.
I appreciate it. They call me Lumberjack every now and then, or Thor, whatever. I'll take it. As long as they're calling me handsome, I'll take it, right?
Hey, you know what? You got to.
Spencer, I'm excited to talk to you. I wish we were talking at a time where at least we were coming back 1-1 from New York. And we could talk game one, but I think we're a little bit removed from that now. I want to talk to you just about that New York experience for the Cavaliers in Madison Square Garden. And the first question I have for you is about Kenny Atkinson. A guy who's been praised as the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, has done a great job in regular seasons and even at times during these playoffs. The Game 7 rotation, I heralded on the network for the rotation and the pick and roll, the movement, Kenny Atkinson basketball. And it appears we got away from that, starting in the fourth quarter and overtime of game one, and then a lot of game two. What do you make so far of Kenny Atkinson's rotations? Dean Wade being back in the starting lineup and Max Strus being on the bench yesterday in game two.
So I'll take that two-part. So the first thing I'll address is the fourth quarter offense in game one, I think, was majorly getting away from what they did in the first 36 minutes of that game. There was a lot of pounding. There was a lot of, honestly, at the 7-minute mark, they started clocking it like it was a QB kneel. Like they thought they had the game won. And that's where you can't give that kind of life to the Knicks because they experienced that last year on the other side. They thought that they had the game won against the Pacers in New York, and obviously Tyrese Halliburton pulled off his magic, and they ended up stealing that one. So I feel like they were prepared for that. The Cavs should have known better than to think that the game was over 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. So that'll be my first answer. Secondly, I think yesterday, and maybe I'm a homer, I don't know, but I feel like for the majority of the game, and especially in the first half, the Cavs got some really good looks. I thought that the way they started going to the bigs, which is the formula, they should understand the formula, should be in the back of their heads by now because they've seen it work. I thought that was good. You had Jared Allen going, you got Evan Mobley going, and then from there, I thought James Harden, for the first time since Game 5 of the Detroit series, had his best. I thought he didn't get in the way, he didn't turn the ball over, he was good on catch shoots, he was attacking and picking his spots the right way, got to the floater, got to the free throw line. But at the same time, in the second half, when the shots were continually not falling the way they were in the second quarter, that's when the Knicks made their run. They made an 18-0 run from the 10:35 mark to 5:06, I believe it was, and that was the game. And typically when the Cavs are struggling like that, when they have 4 or 5 minutes where they go scoreless, not even like a 19-5 run, not even like a 15-6 run, but an 18-0 run on the road is really hard to overcome. And I feel like that is where their grave was dug yesterday. But for the most part, offensively, I was okay with what they did. I still do not, for the life of me, understand why Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen just get frozen out when they see it work time and time again. The Knicks have no answer to the pick and roll, high pick and roll, or even just the screen and cuts that Mobley does. They have no answer to it. And they were collapsing and they were sinking in a little bit more, and Evan was making the right play, which he was. When you look at these threes that they were taking yesterday, the majority of them were open. But they went 9 of 35, make or miss league from there. So what do? You got to figure out a way to get the bigs involved, even if there is a body on them. And I think that there still wasn't enough of that mindset from the guards at the end of the day. So, I feel like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And for some reason, when things get bogged down and difficult, they rely too much on the guards, and lo and behold, you have that issue. They gave it a go in the fourth quarter. Props to Dennis Schroeder and Jalen Tyson for giving them the juice that they did in those minutes. But what good teams do is respond to those type of runs. And the Knicks, they could have felt the same pressure that the Cavs felt in Game 1 when they were making that run. But New York made timely shots. OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson just making the play over and over again, the right time, the right place. And that's why they were able to close it out.
Yeah, and you wonder, right? And we wondered here on the network. We had our Cavaliers post game right after the game. We were discussing the Evan Mobley conundrum, especially last night. The fact that he didn't have a shot attempt till just a little, it was a little bit under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. He doesn't shoot the ball again. And we were left here wondering, why aren't they running the offense through Evan Mobley, through Jarrett Allen, that front court that you mentioned? They have had a lot of success with that pick and roll, and even Jarrett Allen a little, sharing his voice a little bit yesterday. And it's rare to see that, I feel like, but him to mention the front court and, the conundrum with the guards being used to having to take 20, 25 shots a game. How do you explain Evan Mobley not getting any more shot attempts? Because Kenny Atkinson mentioned he didn't really even realize it. Is it a matter of just being in unfamiliar territory here for this team in Eastern Conference Finals? I mean, what goes into that, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think some of it's partly on Evan and Jarrett too to demand the ball, and they said as much. I love when JA talked yesterday and was like, "Look, everyone can talk about the guards not getting it to us, but we've got to be more aggressive ourselves without being told or without being instructed to." And I think that that's true. I also think it's admirable for JA to say that about himself and demand more of himself, because that is the definition of a good teammate. But, I mean, I will say it for him if he's not going to say it for himself. The guards have to look for him more. They do. And Donovan, you saw it work in Game 7 to a T against the Pistons. To a T. Donovan as the distributor, getting the ball to JA, getting the ball to Evan, whether it's lobs, whether it's in the pocket, whether they're in the dunker spot, it works. Because these are very talented, mobile, athletic bigs. They're fast. They're tough to get by on defense. They're good. They're really good. Every question we had coming into this postseason was how those guys were going to play. And I feel like they've answered every one of them so far. I think that them being the problem was not them not being the problem was not the expectation coming into the postseason for a lot of people, and they've stepped up. They have. It's on their teammates to get them the ball, and once you start playing through them, that's when the outside stuff opens up. And again, I'm not going to fault Sam Merrill for taking every shot that he took yesterday. They were good shots. People don't want to believe it. Go ahead. Look at how he's played in the past. Look at the shots he's taken in the past. Those are good shots. Mm-hmm. Most of the looks that the Cavs got on the outside were good looks. And a lot of the reason that Evan didn't have those field goal attempts in the second half is because he's spraying out. Because Cat and Mikal and OG and all those guys are kind of sinking into the paint. And, you got to make the right read from there. That being said, you still have to be aggressive with the ball if you're Evan, if you're Jarrett, even if it's not designed for you, I would say. And I thought that Kenny made another good point, too, in post-game. When you're not making the outside shots, it's easier for teams to sink in. So it all is on one plane. That's the offense. You have to have balance in it. when the Cavs aren't balanced, that's when they're really, really in a bad place. It's because Max Strus, not his best yesterday. Sam obviously missed a ton of shots. Dean only took 3 shots, made 1. That was another killer in game 1. They wasted a 10-point Dean Wade game. But it's one of those things where you have to have more of that balance, almost like what New York did, right? Like Jalen Brunson understood that he was being double teamed or he was seeing different defensive looks. So what did he do? He got everyone else involved. You know, Mikal had that middle working the whole way, the whole game. Cat was aggressive in getting downhill. OG Anunoby, some really strong, powerful drives, baseline. Josh Hart, good strategy in game 1. Still thought it was a good strategy in game 2 until he made about 4 or 5 of them. And then you've got to adapt to what's happening in the game. Even if you like your process. And I did. I like their process. But you got to at least shade a little bit more towards him. Like if he's making those types of looks. And a lot of them were wide open because that's the game plan. And they'd rather have anyone but Brunson and beat him. But it bit him in the tail yesterday because in game and in series, you have to make those calls. You can't just stick to one thing and not budge from it. Like I thought that they did the same thing, the Brunson thing towards the end of the game in game 1. I feel like they made an adjustment in game 2. Sure, Harden was still on an island a couple of times, but they gave him different looks. That's an adjustment. You got to do that. If Josh Hart is making threes that much, then you've got to alter the game plan a little bit. And I think that goes back into your Kenny question a little.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, Spencer Davies here, Cleveland Cavaliers reporter with clutch points. See him on Basketball News all over the place. You just type in Spencer Davies, you will see him somewhere talking basketball. I know we appreciate him taking the time right here. I have a question about Donovan Mitchell because you brought up Jalen Brunson. Let's talk about the star of the team because we can dissect the James Harden aspect of things. We can talk about Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, as you so eloquently put it there. But let's talk about Donovan Mitchell because he had another question posed in the post-game press conference about if he's injured or what's going on with him. He said, I'm great. I'm great. He doubled down on it, tripled down on it, said he's great 3 times. Spencer, what's going on with Donovan Mitchell? I mean, because this is a guy, when we brought him over from Utah, the Cavaliers brought him over from Utah, the expectation was not just get to the second round or get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy again. And it seems at times Donovan can shy away from getting the ball back in his hands. Now, is that a matter of James Harden needing some sort of his offense implemented, a little ISO ball and him having the ball? Or what is it? Because I can't lie to you, my friend. Game 1, when there was no Donovan Mitchell controlled offense in that fourth quarter and overtime, it was driving me nuts. So what's going on with Donovan?
Yeah, he won't say it because it's obviously a competitive advantage thing. It's also one of those things where he probably doesn't want to make an excuse, but he's not moving the same. Kenny Atkinson basically admitted that to Lisa Salters at halftime. He kind of walked it back post-game. But if they're seeing it, and Tim Legler and RJ are seeing it, RJ being one that's been in this position before, making an observation like that, then it's probably true. Like, he had a few different tweaks in that Detroit series to his ankle, but I don't think it's the ankle as much. He had some groin issues late in the season. Maybe it's something like that. I do not want to be a doctor and over speculate on what the injury is, but there's something. There's something physically that's holding him back. And what's funny is, like, third quarter, he still had a few spurts where he was able to get by, and he did show like 80% of what he usually shows on those dribble drives. But the consistency, or the inconsistency, I should say, of which he's able to do so, I think is your tell with that. I think also we have to give credit where credit's due with Landry Shamet too. Landry Shamet was playing a heck of a role on him from the fourth quarter and on in this series. And, it's been tough for him to get by one-on-one. And when you set the screens, it looks like he's just not attacking with that same verve. And even the floater that he made to start the third didn't look like it was Donovan's floater. It looked like he was like kind of jogging into it. And that's not an effort question, but It just didn't look right. And he gave them all he had. So he got to the line. It was 8 of 9. He was able to get a few of those threes to drop, but it just doesn't look the same. And to that point, if you know you're injured or you know you're limited, then why wouldn't you try to involve your teammates and trust your teammates a little bit more? Why do you think it would be on you to carry the team if something's not going right, instead of making the next pass to the guy next to you, or again, just getting the ball to the bigs? I mentioned we were talking mostly about Evan earlier. I mean, Jarrett, the majority of his points came from tip-ins. They weren't set up. James set him up. And again, I've been as hard on James as anybody in this postseason. James had his best game in game 2 since game 5 in Detroit. He was okay. He was pretty good. Just too much of the pounding in the third during that run. And it's mixed too with the missed outside looks. It's all connected. It's all connected. But with Donovan in particular, there's something holding him back. There's something holding him back for sure.
Yeah, and you wonder. We talked a lot here on the network, and it's been the talk in Cleveland about the pressure. Are the Cavs feeling the pressure? Donovan's had his comments that pressure is where you find your next meal, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said he doesn't really feel the pressure. Spencer, I got to ask you. Obviously, you have more of a pulse on the team. You're there with them, obviously, quite a bit. I mean, is this team feeling the pressure? Because the outside noise, guys like me, in the Inside Edge Network are having conversations about what this team looks like next season if they can't get it done. Because I truly feel like this is a very important series against this New York Knicks basketball team. It's the same team that started all the discussion about what this Cavaliers team is identity-wise, and there wasn't a lot of good things being said. Are they feeling the pressure of that this could be the last ride in a way if they don't get it done this year?
I don't think that they think that way in this moment. I feel like they have a day-by-day approach. They are as even-keeled and emotionless as you can find in a team that is in an Eastern Conference Finals series. That can be a detriment too, by the way. But yeah, they are. They are extremely just low-key, laid-back, and single-game minded. It's a good thing, but I think, again, it can be a little bit of a disadvantage if you're too laid back. But no, I don't think they're thinking in that way. I feel like they have this mindset of, okay, we were down 0-2 to Detroit. Okay, we lost game 6 in Toronto because RJ Barrett hit a shot that bounced to the heavens and dropped through the net. Yeah. I think that they've been through this before. You can even look as recently as the disappointing game of Game 6 in Cleveland, where they had the opportunity to close out the Pistons and failed to do so. Then in Game 7, stomped their brains out. So mentally, they are strong. They are self-believing. But the problem with this, Eli, and this is what I said on our show, Courtside with Cavs on Cavs Roundtable last night, is at some point the physical catches up. It doesn't. You can be as strong mentally as anybody in sports. And I think that the Cavs are dang well up there. I think Donovan has proven that. I think Jarrett and Evan have proven that. James, among all of the struggles that he's had in the playoffs, historically and this year, has proven that. But the physical will catch up. And that's the problem when you play 2 7-game series before this. That's the problem when you cut the work out for yourself. You had opportunities against Toronto. You had opportunities against Detroit to win those series in 6. Give yourself just even that extra 1 or 2 days. If the Cavs had taken care of business against Detroit in Game 6, this would not have gotten back to Cleveland until the 23rd. It is still the 23rd now, but what I'm saying is Game 1 and 2 would have been the 19th and 21st. They would have had 2 days of rest in between before coming back to Cleveland. Yeah. Instead, they now will have played more games, I think, than any other team in the playoffs because they've had to go 7 for each of them. So they're making it hard on themselves in the sense of they had the chances. And now that you made it tough on yourselves and made you go out of your way to accomplish great things, by the way. They're a Final Four team. Give them props for that. They finally got to that spot. But at this point, the longer a series goes, the longer a game goes, if it goes into overtime, it's going to favor New York because they took care of business against the Sixers. They had 9 days off while you were coming in on 48 hours rest. And it's not even rest, it's recovery. So that's where I think this is starting to catch up to him. I think it's starting to catch up to Donovan. I think it's starting to catch up to a lot of the guys who have been fighting through knick-knack stuff. Even Sam Merrill, who has dealt with wrist injuries. He's dealt with stuff with his hip. Like, that stuff catches up to you when you play this amount of minutes in this short amount of time with little time to rest, barely any time to recover, and no practice time, or very little practice time. So that is my analysis of this. A lot of people like to take this the way that the Cavs are soft and they're wilting. I don't see that at all. I see a different identity for this team. I see a different level of focus and level of self-belief. They've bounced back from a number of different situations. They still could. Hell, we could be talking about this completely differently if they take care of business at home, the way that they did against Detroit. But at the same time, there has to be a thought in the back of your mind if you're a Cavs fan, and even if you're in that organization, is like, man, there's a lot of miles on these tires because you've played a lot of games to this point. You played a lot of minutes. Harden's been playing minutes in the 40s. Not yesterday. He played 32. I think Kenny made sure of that after game 1. But, you know, Donovan and Harden played in the 40s. If Donovan's at 75 to 80%, still playing that load of minutes, that's going to take its toll. But again, going back to our first point, if that's the case, trust the bigs, for God's sake. That is my message to them.
I love it. I love it. Spencer, we appreciate the time. I have one more question here for you. I know we're out of time. The Cavs, you're going to fill in the blank here for us. The Cavs win game 3 at home tomorrow if they do what?
I'm going to say the same thing. If the bigs are involved. If the bigs are involved, get them engaged, get them those early field goal attempts, and then once it works, keep going to it until it doesn't. How about that? Because they've had the formula, not only for this year, but for years past, that when Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are touching the ball early and often, and you don't freeze them out after that first quarter or second quarter. Heck, Jarrett Allen in third quarters and game 7s this year has been the best player in the NBA, in my opinion. So if you get Jarrett and Evan involved consistently throughout a 48-minute period, not just for 12, not just for 24, however many minutes they're on the floor, and they feel engaged, and they're setting screens, and they're diving hard, they're getting to the free throw line, they're still protecting the heck out of the rim, Evan's helping weak side, getting blocks, which they've been doing, by the way, then I feel like you're going to put yourself in a good position. And then when you work at the inside, that's when you start spraying out. And that's when the guys have to make their shots. If they don't make their shots, then you're going to have a short series. So my key is the most obvious key. Get the bigs involved.
I love it. I love it. We have Spencer Davies here with us, Cleveland Cavaliers reporter all over the place. Clutch points, basketball news. You see, you can follow him at Spin Davies. With Spencer, I want to open the floor here for you for the final 30 seconds to the minute we have here. Tell the people what you got going on all over the place and where they can find you next, where they can read all about it, what you're covering here with these Cleveland Cavaliers and NBA wide.
Yeah, this might actually take like an hour. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, so like you said, Cavs beat writer over at Clutch Points. You can find all of my work over there at clutchpoints.com. CavsRoundtable.com is also where I help Spencer German, and we have a podcast called Courtside with Cavs on Cavs Roundtable. We have a YouTube channel where we put all the post-game interviews, reaction from the locker room, and have our own live show after these games in the playoffs. We were not in New York for games 1 and 2, obviously, but we will be here for the rest of the series, so make sure to go follow, subscribe, leave some comments on that channel. It's been growing year by year, and we're really proud of that channel. and obviously CavsRoundtable.com. Also have some NBA draft coverage over at BabcockHoops.com. Do a lot of draft profiles. I got a really fun one coming up on not this year, but next year, one of the top prospects in the league. And can't wait to share that one with everybody. And yeah, I've been doing my NBA features outside of Cleveland as per usual. I've been actually helping youth coach over the past year,
Nice.
helping doing some training with some pros actually over the last year or so. And I love run the show over in Twinsburg and based in Pittsburgh. They're doing a phenomenal job with my brother and them bringing me in and helping out. Have a podcast over there. It's called the Hoop Industry Podcast. Haven't been able to do it because the Cavs have been playing every other day, but we will be back at that as well. So go to runtheshow.com if you have anybody in youth basketball that needs some good training. Ty Neal does an amazing job there in Twinsburg, Ohio. So that's my plug for them because those are my boys. But other than that, yeah, I think I covered most bases there.
Heck yeah. No, we appreciate you, Spencer. We're definitely going to have to get you back on here for the NBA draft when that starts swinging around because, I mean, for years as I followed your coverage, and working alongside with you in a way, they're being at the same games and everything. I've seen how much work you put in with that NBA draft, especially. I don't think there's too many people that are as tapped in as you are with that. So excited to hear what the NBA draft. It's a big one coming up. Oh, fingers crossed we talk some more Cavaliers basketball. Hopefully we have some more Cavaliers basketball on the way. So Spencer Davies, Cleveland Cavaliers reporter. You heard where to find him. Go read all of his content. It's great stuff. Go check out the post-game report. It's 56 minutes. I believe it's a full breakdown. So if you need more Spencer Davies, go get you some. He's a great guy, great human being. I appreciate him taking the time here with myself, Eli Moon here on the Inside Edge Network. Spencer, fingers crossed for game 3 and 4.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you again. All right.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's me, Papa Moon, your host of Real Talk with Papa Moon on the Inside Edge Network. Join me this Saturday as I sit down with my buddy Jamie, all the way from New Mexico, and he shares his story with you and me. So, 5 p.m. Saturday, I'll see you there. Stay real, stay kind, and remember, every voice matters. Love you guys.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Hey guys, what a show today on Unfiltered. Talked about a lot of stuff, including the issues with the Parma School Board. Plus, did you see that crazy situation involving in that school out in Toledo? Kindergarten graduation, the fight, that was insane. Great talk with Jake Underwood too. Make sure you guys check out the episode. We will be back on Monday, a special Memorial Day edition at 5 o'clock here of Unfiltered on the Inside Edge Network. Where are the Cavs? What do they do Saturday? We'll give keys to the game for Monday night and Game 4. All that on the way on your Memorial Day. We will see you then.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan, he's back. To my right, your right, I'm Eli Moon, and we are back in the saddle, on the saddle, in the saddle, on the saddle. Not sure. It's Friday. We're here with you. I don't know, Chad. I don't know anymore, pal. But what I do know is we've had a very busy week. Again, thank you to Spencer Davies from Clutch Points Basketball News everywhere, really. Spencer Davies, if you want to get something fresh in the basketball world from a reporter's, beat reporter's, side of view, like point of view, Spencer Davies is that guy. I have nothing but great things to say about him.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him taking the time to speak with me earlier today. Great interview. Really gave a lot of great insight on what's going on with this Cavaliers team and how they can get it done against the New York Knicks. And echoes kind of a little bit what we said with the Cavs postgame show the other night, Chad, or last night, to be honest. Just the bigs getting involved. Omar Clausel, who will be filling in for Double A Anthony Alford at midnight run with Anthony Alford. We'll be with Omar Clausel tonight at midnight. Yeah. Yes, Double A enjoying a much-deserved few days to relax. He has some deep dish pizzas out in Chicago, as he told everybody yesterday at midnight run, and we appreciate you, Double A, again. Great program director, a great bro, great on-air talent, and everything in between. We appreciate you. We hope you hear this from Chicago. That we love you and appreciate you, man.
Enjoy your couple days away from us.
Yeah, because when we get you back in town, we're gonna have some things to talk about. All good stuff, of course, but
Bring some pizza home.
I don't know. All right, I don't know what that was. But yeah, we're back here again. Yes, thank you to Spencer Davies. We appreciate him, and we hope that we can get him back for the NBA draft coverage next month. So we'll talk with him, see what his schedules look like. He's a busy guy, but again, go read his work. Go check out his post-game report. Stay tapped in with the Cavaliers again. So with that being said, make sure if you enjoyed the content so far, the daily and weekly coverage, you like, subscribe, follow, all that great stuff. Hit that notification bell, Inside Edge Net on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, everything in between. Make sure you stay locked in with Chad and I and everybody. All the daily shows on Filter with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays. Weeknights with chime time. I almost said Chad and prime time. Inside Edge Prime Time with Chad and I, 10 to 11 p.m. weeknights. And then, of course, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1 weeknights here on the Inside Edge Network. And a lot of that great weekly programming as well. You heard from my pops, Papa Moon, Real Talk with Papa Moon, a great episode He's got coming up. He's got his buddy Jamie coming in. He's known Jamie for quite some time, Chad, and very excited. He's going to be calling in, face to face here with Papa Moon. We're going to have to do it virtual, so excited to get that set up. That'll be Saturday at 5 p.m. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. So make sure you stay here at the Inside Edge Network. Of course, we have a ton of great weekly shows as well. Mike Check Take 2 with David Ruiz and Autumn Chisholm. Of course, we have Jersey Chasers Wednesday, 7:30. That's with Autumn and Christy, of course. And then Mike Check Take 2, typically Fridays at 7 o'clock. So a lot of great stuff here. Conversation with Eli Moon. I know a guy named Eli Moon. I believe that would be me. That's at 7:30 on Tuesdays. Main event, Rob, AA, and myself, Rob Rizicki, that is, and AA and me. That's Sunday nights. A lot of great stuff. Chad has Illegal Formation returning with TK Dandridge here. That's very, very exciting. I can't wait for that on Monday nights.
Divisional previews is where we're going. By the way, we're taking just one episode a week on Monday nights. We're going to preview every NFL division. We're going to start in the NFC. We're going to end up with the AFC North, leading right into training camp. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
I love it. And stay tuned for all of that, Chad and TK. They do a great job breaking everything down football-wise, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, all of our great weekly coverage, everything you're going to need. A morning show joining us June 1st with Omar Klossel. So stay tuned for all that. And, of course, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, where you can read about all your favorite personalities, Chad and myself and everybody else. We all do a great job. Or at least we think so, and we hope you do as well, as a grassroots organization, a network here that really is trying to create a difference as Cleveland's digital leader and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. So we appreciate you. Go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com, read about your favorite personalities. Go check out the partners that we have. W Energy, you have Monster Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. We appreciate all of our partners. Couldn't do it without you and couldn't do it without you at home. So thank you so, so much. And with that, use the promo code INSIDER for 20% off your order at the shop. You can get 20% off mugs, shirts, polos, hats, windbreakers, everything you can think of is dang near on that site. Yeah. Take advantage to the end of the month, 20% off your order. If you haven't heard Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, if we get 10 purchases, that's right, 10, two hands. Whoop. If you can get 10 purchases, if we can get 10 purchases on the website at the shop, then Kyle Cornell will shave my head June 1st on an episode of Unfiltered. And who doesn't want to see that? At this point, I'm starting to get the sick of the long hair myself. So let's get 10 purchases. Come on. All right. So InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. All right, Chad. We got a little bit of housekeeping to do here before we get out of here. All right.
All right.
And of course.
Chores or what's going on here? I have responsibilities.
I was thinking you'd probably clean the toilet tonight.
Oh, man. Oh. I better get started.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to Chad later. Somebody is ready, and he is not doing any housekeeping. He's more said tea brewing. He's got the tea brewing. That's Omar Klossel, who'll be with you at midnight tonight, filling in for AA. I'm a little concerned, though. Omar and I had a discussion about what midnight run is. I don't think we're on the same page still yet. I hope he's ready at midnight. I don't know. Me and Omar usually are on the same page. The fact that he's not on the same page with me right now, an hour before he goes on, so Omar, if you're listening, hopefully I see you. We talked about this, so I know it'll go smooth. All right, we're good. We're good.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know who's also been pretty smooth, Chad B, is the Guardians. They have been hot.
Real smooth. Real
fuego.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about these Guardians. I got a chance to speak with AA earlier in the week on Midnight Run about the Guardians and about their run right now and kind of some of the keys to get them to this point right now. What has stood out to you? And I know we talked a little bit earlier in the week, but a few games have passed, a few more, as we talked at the beginning of the season. This is the time now where we can start kind of dissecting a few trends, and at least, and especially with the way the Central is, kind of maybe a little bit more of a deep dive. What are you seeing there, pal?
Well, I mean, this team is they're, like you said, they're hot, but they're starting to do some things they haven't done for a long time, right? First 4-game sweep of Detroit since 2019. Tonight, they beat the Phillies 1-0. Kyle Manzardo with the pinch hit home run, go-ahead home run, not a walk-off. But it was their first 9th-inning go-ahead home run since Jason Giambi back in 2013 when he hit that 2-run walk-off against the White Sox. So I can remember that visually, by the way. I feel like that's one of those home runs that it'll be locked away forever. I don't know why. It's just in the memory banks, you know. I mean, you had everything going on tonight. I mean, the pitching was great. What's not to love, man? I mean, they've won 7 in a row now. Won like 25 out of 26. I know it's not right, but you got like 4 or 5 teams in the American League that feel like they're going to be somewhere near being a contender. Why couldn't the Guardians be the best of those teams? I mean, I have no idea. They're starting to play. You know what else stands out to me? What we always say is like the offense is going to get going when the weather warms up. I mean, as soon as the weather warmed up, the offense really started going, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, watch out for Kyle Manzardo. He's got the average above 200 now. He's got 5 home runs. He's starting to go a little bit too. So here we go.
Yeah, it's very exciting, right? And you think about the next two matchups, right? They got the Philadelphia Phillies, the Guardians. As you mentioned, they got the 1-0 lead and 1-0 victory over the Phillies today. They play the Phillies tomorrow and Sunday, and then they go back home. They come back home here against the Washington Nationals, team who I guess are a little feisty. I've seen a little bit of the Washington Nationals, and I get it. Like, they're not necessarily like the most imposing team when you think of the Washington Nationals. They're 25-27 right now, but they have a few players that can really make some noise for them. And I think it's interesting. They're really led by C.J. Abrams, right? As far as he's going to go, that's as far as
the Braves stuff tonight. And the Braves right now looking like the best team in baseball. But yeah, the Nationals played like I said, they played the Braves stuff tonight. Yeah,
So, but I think that is a winnable series for the Guardians, especially the way they're playing right now. And so you look at that matchup, right? You got Phillies and you got the Nationals, Chad, and then you look at a Red Sox team that is essentially, in my opinion, seeming to more and more give up on the season as the season goes on. They cleared house, but it's a mess over there. What I have circled here, and I think we're gonna have to get Kyle Cornell on from.
Wait a minute. Did you see the comment?
Oh.
What's Omar talking about?
I don't know.
Kind of chilly out here.
What is he talking about?
Where is he?
Is his house like? Does he got the AC on?
Yeah, he's got the window open. I don't know.
I'll call him after the show. I'll call him and try to get a hold of him.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Anyway, back to. Sorry.
Everything's gonna be good. Don't stress me out before midnight. Everything's cool.
No, you're right. Everything will be fine. He'll be fine. He'll show up in the studio. Everything's gonna be fine.
We're good.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, he will not forget.
Dude.
Or misconstrue any part of anything. I'm sure he'll be fine.
No, I mean, it's clearly in the title Midnight Run, so we'll be all right.
Right.
All right, perfect. Now we look at these three matchups. You've got the Phillies and Nationals, Red Sox. I think those are three very winnable series for the Guardians.
Yeah.
I want to get Unfiltered's Kyle Cornell on the show.
Yeah.
Right after June 1st, and hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully because I'm rooting for everybody out there to get me a haircut June 1st. But the New York Yankees squared off against the Cleveland Guardians June 2nd, June 3rd, June 4th. In New York, in the Bronx. We got to get Kyle Cornell on here. Obviously, he's our resident Yankees fan, so we got to get his thoughts on what the Yankee season's looking like. They're above 500. They're making noise in the usually ever competitive AL East.
Yeah,
I'm curious. That's gonna be a measuring stick test. I know we don't do a ton of those here. And when it comes to baseball, it's a long season. You're gonna have your ups and downs. Like you said, the Nationals played the Braves well tonight. But I can't help but think in the Bronx, it's gonna be playoff-like atmosphere. It's gonna be beautiful out more than likely. I mean, barring any rain, it's gonna be beautiful in New York. It's gonna be a nice sunny day, sunny night, and maybe not sunny night, but a warm night. And you're gonna have the Guardians playing the New York Yankees.
Would be weird, yeah.
Should be, yeah, sure would be. New York Yankees, though, they're going to be playing the Guardians in the Bronx. I think that's going to be a very big, pivotal playoff series, or playoff-like feel. And it could be a playoff series down the line, maybe for the AL Championship, the way these two teams are playing right now, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, they're one of 5 teams, like I said, with a winning record right now. In the American League, it's the Rays, the Yankees, Guardians, the White Sox. It's crazy. And the A's. The A's have won a couple in a row now. They're 26-24. They were just at 500 the last time we did this. So there were only 4 teams the last time we talked about this that had a winning record. So, it was funny. I talked to Double A today, and he was pretty excited, man. He was on his way out there. He was listening to Detroit talk radio, sports talk radio. And he had, I don't know, he told me they maybe Scooble, thinking about like trading Scooble and just getting something for him. And he's like, you know what? I know it's not normal to trade within the division, but hear me out. He's like, you got the work stoppage coming up. And listen, I was like, hey, and I knew I could hear the wheels turning, right? And I'm like, well, listen, I said that's not what I meant. The wheels were turning. He's not crazy. But anyway, the wheels were turning up there. And I'm like, you know what? Double A. I mean, yeah, but here's the thing, right? So again, you got the work stoppage coming up. Detroit, if they were to trade him to Cleveland, which would be crazy. Usually don't trade a player of that caliber within the division, but listen, he's not going to sign here long term. Right. He's probably going to LA. He's probably going to New York somewhere. But and Double A brought another good point up, and the Tigers may just be like, listen, he's not going to sign there. Whatever, we'll trade him. We'll take a few prospects. We'll start over here.
Yeah,
and not start all the way over. They still have a good roster. It's just maybe you try to get a another pitcher. I was going to say the caliber.
Chad, I'm going to be honest with you, pal. Not to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
a Tigers trade is probably unlikely. And I was talking to AA as well about this.
Yeah.
I said it would be very nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong. Victor Martinez was traded from the Guardians, the Indians at the time. Was that the Detroit or Boston? And did he go to Boston and then to Detroit? I'm trying to think because
For some
I know
reason,
he ended up with a Tigers uniform. If you can look that up for me, fact check me here, pal, while I'm talking.
Let's do it.
But I can't think of many in-division trades between Guardians and Tigers or any of these guys, really, for the most part. The only reason I think Victor Martinez is just because I remember him in a Tigers uniform before he retired.
It was the Boston first, and then
got it. That's what I thought. Okay, so you think about something.
Unlikely. It would be unlikely, but like I said, they may be willing to. Hey, listen, we'll take 3 or 4 of your, of your prospects, and he's not going to resign there. It would be kind of like robbing the Guardians blind, and the Guardians would get 1 year of just really nice if he can stay healthy.
Right.
Concern. But yeah, it's fun to think about.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that elbow surgery, right, and how he progresses. They're saying he could come back this year. The reports are, depending how he looks. It's not Tommy John, so it's interesting, right? And
I will tell you that John Smoltz had the same surgery, and just about a month and a half later, he ended up having Tommy John. So I will say that oftentimes that leads to worse things down the line. I hope that's not the case, but I just wanted to say that.
Exactly. And you think about it, Chad, right? Tariq Skubal is going to be a rental. The Guardians are not about to open their pocketbook. I know they've been great with the Patrick Bailey pickup and trying to be aggressive there. And they've done other things, brought Bazan up, maybe bringing up Ralphie Velasquez later this year. But they are not going to sign Tariq Skubal. He is going to go to one of the biggest markets in America, whether it's New York or Los Angeles. That's what it is. And you look at this, right? So if you're the Guardians, you look at the elbow surgery, right? You're like, I don't know, because if it doesn't work out, then you just basically gave up a good portion of the farm, top echelon of the farm, and you didn't really get anything out of it except for you got to say Tariq Skubal was on your roster, and then you lose them. So on the flip side, and I told AA this earlier, the flip side is, this pitching rotation is pretty strong already. Yeah. Imagine a pitching rotation led by Tariq Skubal. Then you can trot out Parker Messick, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams. Probably put Joey Cantillo at that point as the 5th starter, and Slade Ciccone slides to the relief role, and that really bolsters a pitching unit. A guy that can go 7-8. Yeah, a guy that can go 7-8 strong in the postseason and really save the bullpen for a game 2 or game 3 if needed. I mean, this is a guy that does make a difference. It's a game changer. The reason why Guardians fans we were worried for that wild card series because we knew we were going to have to go against Tariq Skubal at least once, and it was not ideal. So you see all that. I think this, right? If the Guardians are going to trade to the Tigers and the Tigers go, okay, we'll entertain it. Say goodbye to Stephen Kwan.
Oh yeah.
Say goodbye to Stephen Kwan.
For sure. They're going to at least want one major league caliber player that they can plug in somewhere. Yeah, they're going to want one guy for sure.
Yep, Stephen Kwan. You may be saying that goodbye to some of these guys I just mentioned, Ralphie Velasquez, Cal Steven. I know you love Cal Steven. He could be gone too. You talk about pitching prospects and how high you are on Cal Steven, Chad Bryan. You think of Cal Steven, he probably is one of the first names prospect-wise that is gone to Detroit to recoup that pitching farm, that prospects.
Likely, yep.
So keep an eye on it. Well, it's a fun debate, and kind of keep an eye on it. There's going to be a few teams possibly in the AL Central that might be sellers. You look at this roster, or this division rather, the Royals 20-31. 20-31. They're right there with them.
Well, but with wild cards, it makes it tough, Eli. It's hard to make that call. You know what I mean? Teams are going in. I mean, you saw the Braves. They were, I think 8, 9, 10 games under 500 in 2021, and they were buyers at the deadline, won the World Series. So
that's fair, but a lot of times it's an anomaly, man. I'm going to be honest with you, Chad.
Yeah.
That's why it was so surprising the Braves won the World Series. It's so surprising that Guardians came back from 15.5 down. It's just because those are very rare. And I get your point. It's hard to see if you're a buyer or seller. I'm not saying the Royals are going to go out of the way and trade all their star players, but you wonder if that slide goes to 20-38, 20-40. If they really go to, 22-40, whatever. It's a mess. Yeah. I wonder what some of these teams are going to look to do, especially the Royals and the Tigers. They are mid-market teams, just like the Guardians. They're in that mid-market. They may spend a little bit more from time to time, but they're really kind of in that same base.
I think my suspicion with the Royals is that they would try to do whatever they can to keep that core of players that they have together, because, they look like they're making – they now with Detroit kind of, maybe faltering back a little bit with all the injuries. The Royals really are the second best team in this division. I know the White Sox have the record right now, but I don't – and the White Sox have gotten much better. I think I told you on the baseball, I said, listen, the White Sox are a team that they're going to get better. They're going to be better next year. Well, maybe not next year, but the year after, whenever baseball comes back. But I didn't expect the White Sox to be this good this soon. I don't think they'll sustain this. I don't think they'll end up over 500 at all.
How long does
right now.
Let me ask you this, not to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but it made me curious here. And I know we don't have too much time. We're up against it.
Yeah.
How long do the White Sox have to be above 500 in second place in the AL Central for you to then say, okay, I guess they are as good as their record shows?
I mean, I want to see them there in August.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, a lot of teams can play. It's August is really when I think that's when you hit the wall, right? You're either contender at that point, or you just don't have enough on the roster. There's not enough depth, right? And August feels like the month. It's like the dog days of August, I mean, things just thick, humid air. I know it doesn't sound like it makes a difference, but it does. I mean, think about the cities that down south and everything else. I think August is the month that if the White Sox are still there in second place and still above 500, I'll go, well, I mean, here we are. I would expect them by, mid to late July to really start to fall off, if not sooner. I mean, unfortunately, they're a better team. They're way better than they were last year.
Absolutely. No. And you think about some of these teams, right? And we'll dissect this next week.
Yeah.
We got to flip a coin and see what's going on with your Memorial Day, my Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But I think more than likely we're going to be good for Memorial Day night. Memorial night.
Here, yeah.
We're celebrating Memorial Night then. It's Memorial Day during the day. And we're going to celebrate the holiday Memorial Night with you. I think we'll be good. We'll send an update, of course, out to everybody on the socials if anything changes. But I would say plan for a Monday show, Memorial Day night. I'll be producing Unfiltered, so Chad and I will more likely be with you. Again, we'll confirm and let you know the schedule, of course, all for your Monday Memorial Day action. It'll be very, very exciting. So we'll get into all of that, of course. We'll have a conversation, Chad. Not to get back to my monologue was starting to trail off. The train has left the tracks. But when you look at this AL, you look at Baltimore, Boston, some of these teams that have guys that can really impact a contender. You wonder if you're the Guardians, how much do you have to give it to go get Pete Alonso or one of these other guys in Baltimore? What do you have to give up to get into position to get another guy, bat wise? I mentioned yesterday or 2 nights ago, all my days blend together. I think it was 2 nights ago on Midnight Run with AA. No, I think it may have been yesterday. Whatever. I was talking about Ralphie Velasquez, and I said that's going to be the big move, right? Ralphie Velasquez probably will get called up to the majors to help with this postseason run, much like a Chase DeLauder and guys like that last year. I think that's going to be your big move. But I mean, dude, if they went out and got Pete Alonso or just one of these big power bats, I know the contract doesn't make a ton of sense. But if you could figure it out, man, could you imagine the pop in the lineup with Kyle Manzardo, Chase DeLauder, Pete Alonso? You still got Jose absolutely hitting the cover off the ball. I mean, a man could dream, right?
Travis Bazzana mixed in there. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I don't know that they have the resources to get a player, and especially with a salary like that. I just don't think they have, he just signed.
I know.
I just don't think they have really any desire to bring that kind of money into the payroll. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It depends on if they think that this is really their window. And again, as one of the top 5 teams in the American League, like, why not? I mean, you might as well go all in and really try to win a World Series. If you're one of those teams that's on top, go all in now, because we don't know if there's going to be baseball next year.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we'll be talking about it all season long, and at least getting you to that point. We'll dive into it all winter long when it gets to that point. So we'll talk about that when we get there. Of course, right now, good news to know is the Guardians are on top of your AL Central. 31-22 is their record, 31-22, 4 games up on the Chicago White Sox, who Chad is still not high on. He said, let's talk in August. Let's talk after Eli's birthday. My birthday is the 30th of July, Chad, so that's like 2 days after. Are we going to talk 2 days after then?
Yeah, we'll talk 2 days after. We'll figure out exactly where the White Sox are on your birthday. By that time, I think the Twins will probably be in second place. The Royals will start to play a little better. The White Sox might slide down to 4th.
If the White Sox are still in second place, do you have to shave your head?
Oh, that's a bad idea. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah,
okay, I was just checking.
Bad idea. All right. We want to do that. I'm at the age where my hair is pretty thick. It's good. I'm at the age where I worry, like, if I did something like that, like, what if a lot of it just said, fine, we're done? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you don't want us here, we're gone. We're not coming back. I mean, hey.
Oof. Well, before I have any more bad ideas, pal, let's get to some final thoughts here on this Friday before we put a bow on this week of Inside Edge Primetime. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I would love to see what you have to say, and I'm going to play off of that.
All right. Tremendous. I love it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say, first off, very excited, and I hope we can find Omar Clausel. I don't know where he is at. I texted him during a few of the breaks. He has not responded to me.
Oh, no.
I'm worried. He's over here communicating through Facebook, through the show, talking about how it's chill. I don't even know what to think with this guy. I'm scared, but I'm nervous, and I'm also excited. As long as we can get him in the chair by midnight, he will be filling in for AA Anthony Alford for Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. Very excited about that. Again, just want to give a big thanks to Omar for doing his thing. He'll be with you tonight and June 1st with the morning show here on the Inside Edge Network, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I got to give a big shout out one more time to our guy, AA, program director of the Inside Edge Network. Gave all of us a call back in September to bring everybody aboard, myself, Pops, Chad, Omar, along the way, Kyle, obviously doing the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast, Rob Brzezicki, you guys think of all these guys and girls that have been brought together by AA. He has done a tremendous job, him and the owner of the company, the network, Peter Tellep.
Yeah.
We appreciate AA, appreciate Pete so much. AA, again, I hope you are enjoying the best deep dish pizza you can think of right now, or hopefully it's in front of you. Hopefully you aren't thinking of it, you have it. And we hope you're enjoying Chicago, and we cannot wait for you to be rocking again with us. We know you're rocking from afar, but we can't wait to have you back here in the Buckeye State. We hope you are doing well and enjoy the weekend. And happy birthday to Mama Alfred. I believe it was today. So happy birthday to Mama Alfred, AA's mama.
Birthday,
yes, very good. He said it's her birthday weekend. And who am I to argue? Absolutely, Mama Alfred. You have your weekend. Happy birthday.
I try to get a whole month. I'm like, listen, it's my birthday in June. It's Father's Day. There's no reason I shouldn't have from June 1 to June 30. I usually get about 32 hours or so. It's not bad.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, you know what? We're working on it. But yeah, my final thoughts, usually on Friday, I'm very I'm gracious all the time, but I just have a lot of gratitude in my heart. Just very thankful. Excited for Papa Moon's episode on Saturday. Excited for all the content, the post-game show tomorrow with TK and I after the Cavs game. Just excited for everything, Chad. And for what the network's got coming, everything on the way. It is an absolute blessing to be able to do this every night with you here on Primetime. And I just hope, first of all, we'll talk about the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everybody else out there has a great weekend. Enjoy some sunshine wherever you may be. And just put a smile on your face, man. It is like the most powerful thing ever. Somebody could be walking, down the store at you, could have like a blank stare. If you smile at them, odds are they're going to smile back. Or they're just going to think you're a little crazy. And that's okay, too, because everybody go a little crazy.
Then you get personal space, right? It's fine if they turn and run. That's okay.
Yes. Everybody go a little crazy. It's a nod to an old Eli Moon song. But you know what? That's my final thoughts here for the evening, Chad Bryan.
What's
going on, man? Are you okay? You look like you saw.
What does that mean?
Oh, no.
Does he mean us? Do we look tight? Does he mean him?
We're tight, bro.
Oh, we are tight. Why is he stretching?
I'm assuming because he just hasn't done an hour show.
He's like getting ready for the show?
Yeah, it's got to be. He hasn't done an hour show in a minute. So it's, I'm thinking maybe he's just warming up the vocal cords.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to pull a finger muscle lifting the cup of tea either. Maybe it's, I don't know. Final thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, everything's gonna be okay. Midnight.
It's got me thinking I should stretch my hamstrings more.
Chad, focus. Final thoughts.
All right. Final thoughts. You said something about grad. Oh yeah. Excited. Oh, here's what my kids only have like 3 days of school left, so I'm excited. It's almost summer for them. That's a lot of fun. We're going to spend a lot of time together, man. That's going to be. I'm pretty much I'm a stay-at-home dad, so. I got a little bit of work from home stuff going on, but yeah, I'm going to get to spend a lot of time with them in the summer. I'm really looking forward to that. I am also looking forward to not having to like fight and navigate my way through all the like drop off and pick up stuff. Today I pulled into to my daughter's school to pick her up, and normally I get a pretty close spot, right? And if I park a little bit too far away, she's like, I'm not walking. Today I literally parked in the furthest spot. I don't know what was going on. I've never seen it. Was like a used car lot, and I don't know. It was weird. There were so many cars. It was like as far as the eye could see. So I parked really, really far away, and I picked her up. I was like, "You're not gonna like where I parked." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Just watch.
Just follow me."
When we get there in 11 minutes, you're gonna be like, "Oh." And we got half. She sat on a light pole, and I was like, "You do not need a break." She's like, "My legs hurt." It was so far away. I could barely see the school. I was like, "Is that the building?" I don't even know. It was wild. So I'm looking forward to all of that ending, and just. Like I said, getting to spend some time with them over the summer and having a lot of fun. So
I love it. Have you shown the Bryan household the time machine yet?
Not yet. No, actually, she wanted to see that yesterday, and I had so much stuff going on. She had stuff. Yesterday was a weird day, but yeah, I had a ton of stuff going on. Too many logistics, but this weekend we'll get into that.
And just remember, no kerosene. Diesel.
No, it's a diesel, right?
Diesel, buddy. Diesel.
I just always had the kerosene. It's a flammable. I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll run on this. But it's kind of efficient. It just almost didn't bring me home the other night. I think that was the scary part.
That was the scary part. I got a lot of nerves here at the end of the week. You got lost almost in the time machine, and Omar is doing stretches wherever the heck he is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the tingling feeling though. When I was stuck wherever I was, I didn't really look around.
Let's not do that again.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, let's not a good
So
idea.
much stretching. All right, that's bothering me.
Can you stop saying it? I gotta call him after this, okay?
All right,
Just chill. I haven't literally. It's been an hour and a half. I haven't heard from him. I
I'm
don't
sure
know
he's fine.
what. I hope. I hope.
He's fine. He's fine.
All right, I'll leave you with this. Papa Moon chimed in here, not via comment, via text. So I got a text via Papa Moon, wherever he may be. He says the Guardians, Athletics, and Rays have the lowest payrolls and are in first place in their division.
Moneyball.
Keep in mind, Moneyball. Hey, I love it. Thank you, Papa Moon, for the via text message. Oh my goodness, bro, I felt so important. That was for me to share with you.
Hold on. I have a wire. There's something coming on the wire. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not that old. That's okay. Never mind.
Chad, you're not too old, pal. You know what? You're just in your prime time. Here on the Inside Edge Network, this is Inside Edge Prime Time. Not chime time.
Okay.
Chime time is when we go this summer to like a Home Depot and we figure out all the different doorbells. And we rank our top 5 doorbells.
Okay, so we have to hit them all. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, you don't half-ass it.
That must have been so obnoxious to everyone. I literally, every time I went to a store with doorbells, I had to hit everyone. Every single one.
I think it's a dedication to the craft.
It's like 3 years ago.
Not much changes, bud. You are one of a kind, and I love you for it. All right, that's gonna do it here for us. Chad, Bryan, to my right, you're right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Again, like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net on all the socials: YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. All the great stuff. InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go and use that promo code at the shop, Insider, 20% off your order. Read about your favorite personalities and go to the partners, W Energy, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, and Mosser Moments. We appreciate you. Couldn't do it without our partners and couldn't do it without you right there at home or wherever you may be, east to the west, north and south, in the country, out the country. We appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. Thanks for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. That's going to do it. We have put the bow. Whoop, 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 whoop. Chad, Bryan, to my right. You're right. I'm Eli Moon. Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. That's it for us. Omar Klossel filling in for Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. Coming up at midnight. Stay tuned.